Welcome to the Double R Show, the podcast that features everything about North Lincoln County. The Double R Show, directed and produced by Paul Robertson and hosted by the voice of Lincoln City, Roger Robertson.
One of my favorite weeks is this week. It's Celebration of Honor, and Celebration of Honor means a tremendous amount to anybody that has served in the military and or for those that are first responders.
Yeah, and this weekend, already kicked off with the event starting September 11th.
Right.
And we're going to hear from Heather Hatton about that as we move into the weekend events as well.
And we've got some special guests who are going to talk about military experience, if you will, be it stationed on the Oregon coast or in the Guard serving overseas.
Yeah, so stay tuned, and we'll be right back to hear about all that and more on the Double R Show.
Northwest Septic Service is your one-stop shop for all your septic needs.
Northwest Septic Service offers pumping, maintenance, repair, and inspections with one call, 541-994-6977.
Buying or selling a home? Northwest Septic Service can inspect your sewer line or an entire septic system.
Old or failing septic system? Northwest Septic Service can rejuvenate most drain fields, saving you thousands of dollars. 541-994-6977.
Serving Lincoln, Tillamook, and Yamhill counties, Northwest Septic Service. 21 years ago, a special event commenced in Lincoln City thanks to Chinook Winds Casino Resort. With me is Heather Hatton to talk about Celebration of Honor, the 21st year.
Yeah, well, it wasn't just Chinook Winds, right, Roger? I mean, it was a group of you that really headed that up. So can you tell us who the original committee was? Because I know you don't like to take credit.
Teresa Simmons,
Yep.
Don Kennedy, Tony Molina, myself. And
Yeah. Yeah, I think
Pretty
that was the original crew. And everybody's still around and still helping, and Teresa will be there on Saturday. And we're really happy that we've been able to continue that.
Why?
The big thing is that the tribe takes a lot of pride in the military.
Absolutely.
And I remember Jim Willis, who I love and adore. He is no longer with us, but he was the head of the Oregon Veterans Affairs Department. Yep. And he would get up and speak and talk about how the Native American community, they have the highest percentage of military participation than any other designated.
Any demographics.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's one thing. And, they have an honor guard that is dedicated to showing their support of this event. And so I think that's one thing. And they want to, protect our land and fight for our country.
And on top of that, they have Ed Bend.
They have Ed Bend. Ed Bend is so cool. Isn't he? He is a cool cat. I love
really
Ed Bend. Yeah, he's our WW2 guy. And, my dad was a World War II vet. And so, yeah, Ed is cool. I think that, and Tony Molina and the crew that go out there, a lot of them are Vietnam vets who were not welcomed back into our country, and they would have to change their clothes before they got off their flights. Is that you? Yeah.
That's me.
So, and I remember when Tony Orlando did his concert here, he was one of the best concerts I've ever been to. And when he did his thanks, and then when he also said, please rise if you were peacetime. And I thought, well, that's an interesting thing to do. I don't see that often when you have people stand and be thanked. And he goes, you sacrificed your life as well. You could have been called in a minute. And I just thought that's pretty cool. So all those throughout the years, this is my 19th year at the casino, that it's just awe-inspiring of the men and women who put on this event for us.
Now, we have a number of displays that are already set up at the casino in the big tent, and then the military display as well on the other side of Where do all of these folks come from?
Right. So the military display of the military vehicles, they come from Roseburg, Oregon, and our Oregon Veterans Vietnam Wall, Chapter 805, they come from the Roseburg area. And then this year we are bringing back the Helping Vets HQ, Oregon Memorial Wall of those men and women who have died in service.
Now, that's in the tent, right?
Yes, and that will be in the tent. They're arriving tomorrow around 11 a.m., and they come from Albany. And then on Friday and Saturday, we're going to have vet services set up, and then vets and active duty military can get a free buffet The Bijou Theater, we partnered with them a couple years ago. We pay for active duty veterans. And this year we're going to do first responders. They can get a free movie ticket and a free small popcorn if they want to go see Beetlejuice this week. Because today we kicked it off with 9/11 at the stairs, at our beach access stairs, with the firefighters going over there. And we had the biggest, really, I think the biggest support today of police and fire that we've had in a long time. And they were able to all get out. So we appreciate nobody having fires and nobody having speeding tickets today from 12 to 12:30. We appreciate that.
And it's really easy to remember 9/11.
Absolutely. And we're really proud that we were able to incorporate honoring them and thanking them for their service as well to our communities and protecting our homeland.
Now, one of my favorite portions of the entire Celebration of Honor weekend is the memorial service that is conducted. And you have a special guest speaker, I understand.
Yeah, and I don't remember her speaking at it in most
don't
recent
either.
years. And so we were looking for a speaker, and you're always an amazing MC because you really you started this, and we are thankful to have Teresa there as well, and we're hoping Tony can make it. But I was like, has Dee ever spoken at this? I think sometimes she's been out of town, and she said absolutely. And so I'm really excited that she's going to speak at it. And our new staff member, our PR specialist, Andy Lusich, he's putting together a little write-up of why we do this rededication of that particular memorial wall. So I think it's going to be pretty special this year. 2 o'clock.
I look forward to it. And again, it's right by the monument itself.
Yes, it's right out front, 2 p.m. on Saturday. And, glass floats are going to be put out. Our Explore Lincoln City partners with us every year, and we appreciate them. And it's going to be a really special day. And then you have Vet Services tent Friday and Saturday, 10 to 4 on Friday, 10 to 1 on Saturday in the tent.
What kind of turnout do you normally get for veterans coming because of Celebration of Honor?
It's different every year. And because of COVID, last year was our first Veterans Services tent that we opened. So, I would say in the 2 days we'd see almost up to 100. And hopefully this year there'll be a little bit more because we're bringing it, it's kind of a soft opening last year. But we have a lot of different, Oregon Coast Veterans Association. We're going to have the wall in there. The Oregon Department of Veterans Affairs will be in there. The Veterans Services who can help you with, just go in and sign up for different, things that will benefit you that you didn't know you had opportunity.
Just the information that is at hand that is there to be had.
Yeah, and Carol Cadello, who's been with the Veterans Affairs forever, and she's retired now, but her and her daughter...
She's still working it.
She still does. She reaches out, so her and her daughter will be there who can answer really any question. They'll direct you to whatever you need. If you have questions, they'll have your answer.
All right. Heather Hatton, Chinook Winds Casino Resort. And I thank you again. As a veteran, it means everything in the world to me.
Well, it means the world to me that you have served for our country, so thank you so much for your service.
Wouldn't it be great to have all your insurance needs handled by one agency? This is Charlotte Lado with Farmers Insurance and the Insurance Store. Visit our office next to the Wildflower Grill in Lincoln City. Let us be your one stop for your personal, commercial, health, and Medicare insurance needs.
If you're looking for great early garden fresh produce, it's Kenny's IGA in the Bay Area of Lincoln City. 4 generations of Morgans caring for your every grocery need. All of your favorite beverages, a full deli, meat, produce, and of course, groceries.
Bob's Beach Books in the Ocean Lake area of Lincoln City does in fact have what you'll want to read. I'm Diana Portwood, and if we happen to be out of a particular bestseller, in a day or two we'll have it back in the store waiting for you. Bob's Beach Books, so you can join the conversation.
Years ago, there was a military installation on the Central Oregon coast up at Hebo. A lot of people probably don't even remember it, but Tom Carl certainly does because you were stationed there.
Yes, I was. From 1976, January 76 through October of 77, I was at Mount Hebo, and it was quite an exciting place to be sometimes and not to be when you have the 12 feet of snow, 80-mile-an-hour winds. But in the summertime, it's always beautiful up there. And when the wind wasn't blowing, it was nice and hot and sunny. And it was quite an experience to be up there. You got to see the deer on the road as you drove up and down the mountain. In the wintertime, it was chain up every single day at the base housing, which was at the 7-mile mark. And you chain up at base housing, and then you drive up the 2 miles, basically up to the top of the hill, and then go to work.
So you didn't actually live on the top then, right?
Well, thank goodness, because the actual base housing is 27 housing units. They're all double-wide manufactured homes, And the problem with them was you were surrounded by trees. They had nothing cut down. All you could see was straight above you for sky, and it was about the most lonely place you could be in the world. And I just come back from Turkey, and we lived in a trailer there, and I swore up and down there's no way in this world that I would ever live in a trailer again. So in this case, no, we bought a house in 1976 here in Lincoln City, and I traveled back and forth to Hebo every single day.
Now, Hebo was a radar station?
Yes, it was a radar station. There was two different radar sites up there at that time. The 689th Radar Squadron, the Det-2 Radar Squadron. And the Det-2 did all the satellite surveillance type things way out in outer space. 689th Radar, they had the smaller radar domes up there, and they looked at the near side of things and a little bit of the dew line approach as far as anything coming in off the ocean, anything coming in. It could be a possible attack in those days. That was back in the Cold War days, and anybody could attack us. So it was interesting up there. I was in the communications area and not in the radar area itself, so it was a little bit different for me.
Do you remember any incidences that you were really nervous?
Well, the only thing that really made me nervous in wintertime was watching my fellow airmen drive down the hill, sliding sideways and crashing at the bottom of the hill. And I thought, these guys don't know how to drive on snow and ice. Anyways, I had then a nice little Ford Pinto. Remember the Ford Pinto, the one that you never would drive because of the gas tank? Anyways, I had the cross-link chains on that car and chained up every day going up, coming down. And that's where the excitement came, because you'd be going down the hill, and even with chains on, I'd be sliding sometimes sideways. You couldn't control it. It was glare ice, hard packed, and it was a very, very steep hill up there. So that was exciting.
No, they actually closed the radar station entirely, correct?
The radar station closed down in 1989, and then they've literally bulldozed over the entire site. The only thing that's up there now are TV station relay signals. And they have television and radio up there and some cell phone sites. But other than that, everything is paved over, and all the things I remember walking down into these towers and these huge towers are all bulldozed over, and you'd never recognize it now.
You had your family with you when you were stationed there?
Oh, yes. Yeah, it was myself and 3 girls and my wife. We were here all in Lincoln City, and the kids went to school at D Lake and Ocean Lake.
The radar station, again, how many people were stationed up there, Tom?
At that time, it's strange. At that time, it was all classified. You couldn't mention how many people were up there. I would estimate from the day it's probably 150 to 200 people total. So it was a small station, because with 2 squadrons up there, it's still a fairly small station. And it was not much for walking there. You didn't have to walk very far. And most of the walking was done in there were tunnels is what they called them. And they're literally metal conduit tunnels that you walk through because of the snow and the fierce winds. I had to cross a street once, and the winds were up over 80 miles an hour, and I had to wear a parka up there because it's so cold. And I got caught coming out, and the parka billowed up, and pulled me on the ground and started pulling me towards the edge of I call it, they wasn't a cliff, but it's a hillside. If I'd gone over, I would have gone down 500 feet. So needless to say, I wasn't real happy that day being blown over. And I learned then that you really have to be careful when you're walking in high wind conditions.
Now, obviously, you didn't have the PX, these days, or you did?
Well, we had what you call a commissary. It was 2 aisles, one side, up one side, down the other. And I never used it because there was nothing up there that I wanted to tote home. So, unfortunately, it's one of those things that I didn't live up there, so everything we did was shopping in the old days. In the old Safeway, about half the size of the current one, we shopped at Safeway, and occasionally in Kenny's IGA North when it was there. And other than that, PX, well, there wasn't really a PX up there, so it didn't exist.
And the airmen that did not have families with them, they lived in base housing as well at the bottom of the mountain?
No, all the people that were unaccompanied, they lived in the barracks. They had 2-story barracks up there, and they had 3 of them and a chow hall. So these I say poor people, because when you're stuck on top of Mount Hebo in the wintertime and you have no transportation down, some of them one kid had a motorcycle, he resorted to putting rope around his wheels on a motorcycle to make it as a pretend type chain so he could go down the hill, so he could escape and get off that base, because it was just the young troops. They had nothing up there, no entertainment. Remember, this is before even people even thought of cell phones or computers. This is back in the old days when you wrote with a pen and pencil and ink and paper. So, yeah, this is back in the dark ages.
It had to have been a tremendous experience, though.
Well, yeah, it was a tremendous experience for me, because after coming back from Turkey, which was, I won't describe that place. Anyways, coming back from Turkey, I was on the eastern side, very close to the Russian border, and that was not a pleasant experience over there. No, the hardships we went through. Going to Hebo was a breath of fresh air to me, just coming back here to the United States. But the wife and the kids, like I said, they lived in Lincoln City for almost 2 years that we were here, until we moved down to California. And they had a very good, fruitful life, and they had a lot of things they could do.
We at La Roca are proud of our food, but don't take our word for it. Read the reviews. One person wrote, "The service was friendly and efficient." Another writes, "La Roca has become one of our favorites because it's authentic Mexican food."
We may be young, but we are experienced. Hi, Adina Zeller here, and Zeller's restaurants are now a year old, but the experience in preparing and serving food goes way back generations. Zeller's Lincoln City and Rose Lodge. Come on in.
Celebration of Honor is this week, and of course, one of the main activities of Celebration of Honor is talking to veterans. But we have an active duty personnel here in town, an attorney in town, Josh Zantillo. Your company that you were in is being deployed or redeployed again, right?
That's right. The 41st Infantry Brigade with the Oregon National Guard is deploying to Kosovo again.
Why is that?
Well, the Oregon National Guard's on a rotation with the active duty Army to deploy every couple of years. It's about a 5-year cycle. You deploy for a year, then you come back and regroup for a year, and then a couple of years of training up for what your next mission is, and then you go do that mission.
Going to Kosovo, what is the issue, if you will?
The mission there is to create a safe and secure environment and freedom of movement for all the civilians that live in Kosovo. They're an independent country, but they don't have their own army. So there's a NATO mission there, which is comprised of U.S. forces and other countries that act as their standing army to keep them safe.
What do you tell somebody that is interested in joining the Guard? Why is Josh Zantillo in the Guard?
It's great. It gives you the best of both worlds for military service. You get to serve the nation when they need you to. You get to serve the state and local people when they need you for like a natural disaster. And with the National Guard, you get to pick where you live. I get to live here in Oregon. They're not going to transfer me to, Washington or Korea or some other place the way active duty does with their personnel.
And again, the National Guard unit that you're in now is in comparison to the one that you were in that's going to Kosovo. What's the difference?
Yeah, so the Oregon Army National Guard is broke up into the 41st Infantry Brigade. They're the ones deploying to Kosovo right now. And the 82nd Brigade, which is the support brigade, and then Joint Force Headquarters. And I went with the 41st Infantry Brigade to Kosovo last time. And then about 6 months ago, I transferred to Joint Force Headquarters, and that's where I am now.
Joint Force Headquarters is headquartered out of Salem?
Yes, Salem.
And what is their mission?
So Joint Force Headquarters oversees both the 41st Infantry Brigade and the 82nd Support Brigade. So it's the headquarters over both of the main brigades for the Oregon Army National Guard.
Now, you are, what rank at this point in time, John?
I'm a major.
That's a lot of continuous work, is it not?
Yeah, I've had to do a lot of coursework and a lot of classes to get there.
Absolutely. I salute you for that. Of course, I was a ground pounder.
Nice.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about you did mention the benefits, if you will, for being in the Guard. From a standpoint of a young man, young woman going into the Guard, materially, what are some of the benefits?
Well, they'll help you pay for college. They've got tuition assistance. They've got a GI Bill. Depending on which job you pick, you might be eligible for a bonus. You can get health care at a fantastic rate. I get TRICARE for my whole family for about $200 a month. You can't beat that for health insurance. And you get to do something fun when you go to serve. You might pick a job that's similar, or you might pick one that's completely different from what you do at home.
Is yours different?
It used to be. I first enlisted as a combat engineer. So that's the soldiers that do route clearance. We get to use explosives. It's a lot of fun. After about 3.5 years of that, I switched to the JAG, so an attorney. So it's now the same. Now I have the same job in both places. Different kinds of cases, but the same job.
Is there a conflict in your mind between the two?
Between the civilian job and the Army job? No, definitely not. We have completely different types of cases and completely different clients. I guess under the circumstances here in my civilian office, I would not be allowed to sue the Oregon Military Department. So in that sense, I've got one case I can't take, but I can give that one up.
This is Celebration of Honor Week in Lincoln City. What does that mean to you?
Well, it's a great time to celebrate the veterans and the folks that are serving now. The display that goes up over at the casino is really something to see. I like it a lot. I'm glad they do that for us.
And on top of that, the Kiwanis Club, which you are part of, gets involved with the flags.
Sure do. Yeah, we put up the parade of flags. The casino has us put up a special display just over near them as well. It's pretty neat.
And that means what to Major Judge Zantillo?
It's nice to be able to participate and thank the other veterans that are in this area. I guess it's nice to get a thank you now and then, but it's more fun to thank the other ones that are around here.
And with your law firm is about to move.
We are, yeah. We're changing locations. We've been here in this spot for many years and like it a lot, but we bought a building. It's the old News Guard building next to the community center up the hill from Super Oscars, and we're doing the last bit of renovations and should move in October.
And originally it was the radio station.
That's right. What was that, KBCH? Yeah.
I was in that building a lot for many, many years, so I know it well. Congratulations, best of luck there and in the military as well.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it.
Celebration of Honor continues in Lincoln City. Back in a moment.
The legendary Grammy Award-winning band, the Mavericks, coming to Chinook Winds Casino Resort for one night only, September 22nd. The Mavericks, performing the classics, favorites, and hit songs from throughout their 30-year career. An electric evening of music with the Mavericks. Tickets on sale now at ChinookWinds.com. Chinook Winds, where concerts are better at the beach.
Well, we have some other activities forthcoming, including the Senior Fair, and the Senior Fair is October 9 to 4. You're going to have a booth at Senior Fair.
Indeed, yeah. I'm going to have kind of a co-booth. Robertson Environmental is going to be there. We do well water testing and the like, and some other services. And then I'm going to co-host that with the Cascade Head Biosphère Collaborative booth as well. So we'll both be there. And, I serve as the staff scientist, so I get to play both roles.
Okay, keep the cards shuffling. Now, you also got the 14th?
Yeah, so this Saturday is kayaking in the moonlight at the Salmon River Estuary on night.
I love that, kayaking in the moonlight.
Yeah, it's going to be a full moon, and so it's going to be a big moon to see out there, and we're going to leave Night Park at about 7:30, so register at cascadehead.org and bring your own kayak, and it's one of those events, so hope to see a good turnout.
How far are you from the breakwater or going out to sea when you're kayaking there at Night Park?
Oh, it's a good probably half mile at least down to the actual surf zone. It's a really great place, flatwater kayak space to be out. We actually did a promo out there, videoed one just the other night with Allison and I. So it was kind of fun to be out on the water just recently again.
So it's kayaking in the moonlight, full moon. And any charge?
$25 is the registration fee, yeah. And then we're going to also have a daytime kayaking on October 5th, so look for that. And then in between that, welcoming the salmon home. It's going to be a big event that we're going to have on the 21st there at Night Park. So music, pontoon boat rides, salmon. It's going to be a great event. Again, cascadehead.org for more information.
Throughout the program today, we've been talking about Celebration of Honor. Well, the veterans are invited to a homemade soup and sandwich luncheon put on by the Lincoln City Elks Lodge. This is twice monthly, the second and fourth Wednesdays, noon until 2. Again, the second and fourth Wednesdays. That is a free luncheon for all veterans. It is a wonderful lunch.
And then we were hearing from Heather about the Bijou offering the Beetlejuice film, right? And free popcorn for veterans, active service
free
members.
Admission.
Free admission, yeah.
Also, would like to draw your attention to a special cruise party that's forthcoming. This is going to be an opportunity for you to be educated, if you will. Attend a special seminar hosted by Dr. Estelle Harlan, and she'll lead a discussion based on her book's theme, Life and Career Transitions. This is going to be in April 22nd through 26th on Holland America. We'll sail out of Vancouver, round trip with ports callback in Seattle and in Victoria. 4-day cruise, a fundraiser for the Lincoln City Chamber of Commerce. And speaking of fundraisers, the biggest one of the year is the Angel Ball. The 25th anniversary ball will be held up at the Convention Center at Chinook Winds Casino Resort. Hot lava Polynesian entertainment, an authentic luau buffet. This is going to be a kick. If you've ever been to Hawaii, you know what we're talking about. These people are coming out of Las Vegas to put on this show, a dance, and the food will be incredible.
In the 25th year, so a quarter century of this fundraiser. So be sure to get your tickets from Angels Anonymous Ball. They're coming up December 7th.
Yeah, Pearl Harbor Day. Anything else to your side of the table?
No, we're clear from here.
That'll do to the doings on the Double R Show. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share so you, your family, and friends around the world and across the street can join us on the Double R Show. For Paul, Jenna, I am Double R. Have a happy day.
You've been listening to The Double R Show. Join Roger and Paul Robertson as they explore everything about North Lincoln County. The Double R Show, produced by Always Productions and hosted by Roger Robertson. Have a story? Email contact@alwaysproductions.com or call 458-201-3039. For The Double R Show, I'm Jana Grawn.